this beautiful love about which we have heard about, which is all pervading, is all over, and you just feel absolutely sure of yourself, as if you are entered into the beautiful hall of God's kingdom, where you are secured, you are respected, you are loved, you are looked after. The human problem, as I have studied, is very simple. Is to be understood in a detached way. Now here you can see the beautiful machinery that is working within ourselves. If you see on the left hand side, we have, somebody should come and show, blue colored line. And the right hand side you see a yellow line. In the center you see a white channel. These are our autonomous nervous systems, 3 channels, left and right sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. When I talk of medical science, people get quite surprised. But it has something to do to understand what are we inside ourselves. Now this parasympathetic nervous system is the system that gives us balance. For example, if I am running fast, my heart will start thumping. But it comes to normal through parasympathetic nervous system. And medical science doesn't know much about the parasympathetic nervous system, which is actually in the center. These chakras are around the parasympathetic nervous system, and like my fingers here, this is the chakra in the center here, and this is the left sympathetic and this is the right sympathetic, and they both put together make this center to form the parasympathetic. Simple as that. Now what happens with human beings? That they have a capacity, they have a freedom also, to go to the left or to the right. They can be very emotional people. They can go to the emotional side to such an extent that they can become fanatics. They can go further with it, so that the left side, which represents our subconscious, then the collective subconscious can be entered into. So they can enter into collective subconscious also. Subconscious also has 3-4 layers. That is, we can say the present subconscious, the past subconscious, and subconscious of ages. Then the collective subconscious, where all that is dead exists in that area. Now when you move too much on that side, you get attacked by that side. And that side has got all that is dead, which attacks you, which triggers. On the right hand side, we have got another channel of the right sympathetic nervous system. This channel represents our activity and our future. So when you are overactive, you're working very hard, you are futuristic, all the time thinking about the future, you start moving towards the right side, to such an extent that you can enter into your collective supraconscious also. In the same way you have got your present supraconscious and also collective supraconscious. Now human beings have a capacity that they can move to the left and to the right with their attention. They can project their attention to the left or to the right, or they can be moderate in the center. So when people talked of religion, I mean the real people who came on this earth, they talked of religion. They talked about our valency, that's a human valency, is of 10 number. And that's why they talked of 10 commandments. Or in every religion they talked about it, that we have to keep this balance. When we go out of this balance, then we either move to the left or to the right. But if you see the history of religions, it is just the opposite. That all these religions have created conditionings within us. A kind of a fanaticism, a kind of a blind faith, which was never the purpose of establishing your valencies within yourself. The movement to the right is also another problem of the modern times. When we move to the right, we actually start becoming very egoistical. The activity that we form, the activity that we perform creates a balloon-like structure on our head, as you see, crossing over here as ego, that yellow stuff. On the left-hand side, when we are conditioned very much, we get another balloon which we call as superego. The road to realization is straightforward, which you see is shown in the white color, is the parasympathetic nervous system. Now those people who move to the left or to the right develop diseases. For example, I'll show you here. Now supposing I move one finger too much here, then I'm cut off with the main. This side is cut off with the main, this side is cut off with the main. Then what happens? That there is no control. And the cells become malignant on their own. They start overpowering others. And that's how they start destroying other cells. We say cancer has been established. It's a very simple thing, is to bring them back again and put them in contact with the divine and bring them to the mains. Secondly, people have these days diseases like diabetes. Very common, diabetes is a very common disease. Now in Indian villages, the villagers, when they take tea, they say that we must take so much sugar that the spoon must stand in the sugar. And they drink such a lot of sugar, they never have diabetes. Never. They have never known diabetes. What is the cause of diabetes? Or liver trouble, or we can say other troubles like blood cancer. It's a very simple thing that we do, is the imbalance within us. As you see the yellow center we call as Swadisthana, which looks after the aortic plexus in our body on the physical level. This center has a very special work to do. That is to convert the fat cells for the use of the brain. So it converts the fat cells for the use of the brain. If people are very futuristic all the time thinking, 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 then this poor center or chakra has one work, is to convert cells after cells for the use of the brain. Brain starts growing. But what about the other functions it has to do? It has to look after the liver, it has to look after the pancreas, it has to look after the spleen, it has to look after part of the intestines and also the kidneys. When we start thinking too much, we give too much work to this one center, all these viscerals are neglected and you may develop any one of these troubles. But when it comes to spleen, it is even worse. When it comes to spleen, these days the life is so hectic. First of all, we get up in the morning, first thing we do is to read the newspaper. That's the horrid thing to do. Coming out of very nice sleep, you suddenly read the newspaper and so many are bombed, so many are killed, so many are harassed. Oh God. You get a shock. The system gets a shock. Now, when the system gets a shock, the spleen has to produce more red blood corpuscles. It has to work very hard. Then you suddenly discover you have to go to your work, so you get out of your bed and rush here and there, brush your teeth on your way and carry your breakfast. Maybe your wife is running after you with the breakfast, you have no time for anything. Such a hectic life you lead. Extremely hectic. Then you get into the car, you find there's a jam, finished. We don't understand how much we are shocking ourselves all the time. We are on a war path with the watch. All the time struggling for time, struggling for time. This spleen doesn't understand the person. There's no rhythm in the life of that person. The spleen thinks, what am I to do now? Suddenly this person needs the red blood corpuscles and it doesn't need, then suddenly it needs it. It becomes hectic. When it becomes hectic, it becomes vulnerable for blood cancer. Now with the Kundalini awakening, when she rises, passes through those centers, first of all she puts them like a slot, they all come back. Fall in lines. She awakens them, gives them energy, the energy flows out, cures cancer, cures this, cures that, cures that. Then it passes through your Agya Chakra here, where you forgive everyone. You just forgive. You don't know what a weapon Christ has given us to forgive. Half of the marriages would be all right if you know how to forgive. Just makes you a sweet, beautiful, charming person in the real sense of the word, not outwardly because you are dressed up well or you have a beautiful ornament or something like that. You really become a very charming person in the sense that you charm the children, you charm your family, you charm the whole world. Because once you start forgiving, the love of your heart starts pouring in. When she opens this last center, actually here on the fontanelle bone area, where you get your real baptism, this is what we call the seat of the heart center, seat of the heart center. When she opens, the transformation starts. And you start feeling the cool breeze of the Holy Ghost. So the transformation in the temperament, in the behavior of a person, you immediately notice the face changing. The tense face that you see suddenly becomes mellowed down. You relax. And this Kundalini awakening, then kept up well, makes you grow spiritually. And the spiritual growth in a person is what we want today. Of course, no diseases, no physical problems, no mental problems. Many mad people have been cured. The schizophrenia has been cured with Sahaja Yoga. After realization, we understand how valuable we are, how glorified we are, how God loves us, and how He looks after us moment to moment. These imbalances within us have now increased more by time, because the ego increased a lot, and then we said, why not do this, why not try this, why not try that? Like everybody going amok, trying this, trying that, trying that. Everything new they should have. They did not believe in what people told them before. They discarded all that. And they said, let's try everything new. Like the other day we were having a banquet. And there was an ambassador sitting next to me. And he said, I know you don't like Freud. No, I said, I don't like him at all. But he said he told us something new, while Jung didn't tell us something new, see. I said, all right, we have had dinner many a times, but we have never eaten the table. Let's have it. That's a new thing, why not? He was shocked at me. He said, everything new can be very dangerous. Let us try with the snakes, let us try with the tigers. This is the trouble with us. We have to humble down to understand that no, this is a trust of God within us, this body of ours. We have no business to insult it, to be disrespectful to it, to waste it. We have to respect it. With what difficulty it was made, the whole, you see, beautiful mechanism that is made within us. And it works so spontaneously, so beautifully. Even whatever you have done to it, doesn't matter, forget it. Even if you have not respected it, forget it. Please don't develop any guilt. That's another disease of the modern times. Everybody is guilty. Why are you guilty? You are human beings. If you have done mistakes, it's all right. It's for God to correct it. That's His job. So leave Him to do that job. But we shouldn't go on doing the mistakes. Once we are blessed by Him, let us enjoy.